You are now watching Sacred Seat TV. Welcome back to my channel. This video was initially supposed to be a trail talks. However, due to unforeseen circumstances, we had to switch gears and instead we did a sit down interview. So I have a treat for you today. And here is a brief introduction as to who I'll be speaking with. Today, we are joined by an incredible conversationalist, media content producer, and mental health advocate who has dedicated her platform to creating a safe space for important discussions. As a two-time graduate of FAMU, she founded Conversations with Nicole in 2016 to uplift, empower, and connect with communities on a mission toward mental wellness. She has interviewed some of the biggest names in entertainment, including, but not limited to, Common, Anthony Hamilton, Soledad O'Brien, and our Tallahassee legend, Joe Bullard. Her show has been airing for over 13 seasons on social media, radio, and now here on YouTube. Please give a warm welcome to the one and only Nicole Everett.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for having me, Tiffany.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule because I know you are everywhere in town.
We make time for what's important to us.
I
But
appreciate that.
it's rare that I'm on the other side. Normally, I'm the one
Mhm.
asking the questions. So I'm a
Yeah.
little nervous, but it's gonna be all right.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being willing to do this with me. I really do appreciate that because I'm just now getting started out. We're still in the beginning stages.
That's
So
good. But you started. That's what's most important.
yes, ma'am. Okay. So Um, the first question that I would like to ask is you've had over 13 seasons with your show, Conversations with Nicole, on YouTube.
Yes.
What are some of the most memorable conversations you had, and which one of them stood out the most to
Now that's just impossible for me to answer.
you?
I think some of my most favorite have been the ones where they've kind of left me speechless, and that's
Mm,
been with Bill Proctor, who's a local commissioner and professor here at FAMU,
mhm.
Coach Leonard Hamilton, who was the former FSU men's basketball coach, as well as Chef Leon.
Okay.
I think the amazing thing about his story is that he started working as a chef at the Waffle House. Like that's where he first got his cooking experience. But
Wow.
he was a dance marathon champion and
Hmm.
like international champion, like been to Japan and competed and yeah. And so he
Wow.
used the winnings from that to start his business as a chef. I would have never guessed that in a million years.
That's an amazing story. I need to watch that video.
Yes,
He sounds like
yes.
a really cool person.
He is, but each guest is so unique and has their own story, their own flavor, their own passions and things that are important to them. And so I really just seek to share their gifts, their talents, their passions with the world, and
Yeah.
hopefully the world can benefit from them. That's one of my mantras is that we all have gifts and talents that the world is waiting on, and we shouldn't be sitting on them, but we need to be sharing them with the world. So
Oh, I like that. That's
yeah.
beautiful. Okay. Okay. So, um, did you have anything else that you might
So
want
you
to add
said
to that?
favorite guest, and what was the other one?
One that stood out the most. One, give me one that made like the most impact on you personally.
Ooh, that is tough too.
Mm,
I think now this is my live shows that I'm gonna mention, but
mm,
one of my guests that I would have on frequently was Dr. Ken Fowler, who
mm.
was a psychologist based here in Tallahassee who transitioned about 2 years ago now, and I
Mhm.
considered him to be a grief specialist, and so he would share with us, even though our topics really weren't about grief, somehow we would get on the topic, just how important it is for us to grieve our losses and not just deaths, but, their loss of relationships, loss of position, employment, and so I think sometimes we're so busy living and told that we have to just keep going and we don't really have time to grieve. But when we don't, it builds up stress and that turns into physical conditions that are detrimental to our health. And so that one or those conversations have been most most memorable and things that I've like carried with me from that time to
Mhm. Okay, it's very interesting that you touched on that because I do have a question related to
okay.
the grief aspect. Because this conversation is going to be surrounded around mental health as it relates to menopause, perimenopause, and
Mm,
the different phases that we go through as women, and how we can hold on to our mind and not allow it to take us where we don't need to be.
yes.
Because this is something that I'm experiencing now, as far as like coming into the change. And
Mhm.
so it's just very interesting to see how I am being with all of this happening at the same time. So we'll come back to that.
Okay, we'll put a pin in it.
Okay, so how has your approach to discussing mental health and wellness in the Black and Brown communities evolved since you first started your show?
I think it's become more acceptable.
Mhm.
Not that it wasn't acceptable when I started, but I think it has increased definitely.
Mhm.
The work that I do in the community, specifically with the Mental Health Council of the Big Bend and work that I previously did with a kind of an ad hoc group that focus on Black men's mental health, I
Mhm.
definitely have seen a shift
Mhm.
in um, there being more groups that are available for folks to come together to talk about mental health. There being more activities. And when I say activities, I mean like events, community events that have been held. And so I really do hope that that continues to grow and people do continue to take advantage of those things because
Mhm.
it's
Yeah,
important.
absolutely. If you
Mhm.
don't have your health, you don't have anything. You can have
If
all the
you
money in the world, but if you don't have
yes,
your health, you're still poor.
yes, and there is no health without mental health because everything starts with mindset.
That's exactly right. That's where it starts.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are described as a connector. What does that role mean to you?
So that is a very important role to me. As a connector, I consider myself to be someone that puts people in touch with resources, whether that's human resources, products, services that will assist them in whatever their need might be at the time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. All
Mm.
right, Miss Connector. Okay.
And that would be me.
Okay, can you describe some of the unexpected mental health challenges that you've observed either in yourself or
Mhm.
in other women that you've come across that are going through perimenopause and menopause?
Oof. So, I don't know if the specific challenges that I've seen within myself are necessarily related to perimenopause or menopause, but we'll say
Mhm,
it does just for the sake of this conversation. So, procrastination might be one of them, some of those habits, just
mhm,
not feeling like doing much of anything. So maybe some fatigue or exhaustion related to it.
mhm,
I think that that definitely is part of it. Also
Mhm.
some, emotional regulation, probably a little bit more heated than normal in my mind in terms of some of the things that I think about people. And so I
Yeah.
have to I'm very introspective and self-reflective anyway, but
Okay.
it's, uh, it's causing me to be even more so now, I think.
Mhm.
Perimenopausal, menopausal, condition, and
Yeah.
so, it's yeah. It's causing me to really have to, um, challenge myself a little more to be more emotionally regulated and not kinda
Mhm.
fly off the handle.
Yeah, I could definitely relate to that one. I would say for me, I think, I do have a history of depression and generalized anxiety. So I was like officially diagnosed with that.
Mhm.
And so I think at the top of this year, I started feeling this like cloud over me for some
Mm,
reason.
mhm.
And I was thinking about it in terms of like where I've been, because I've been there before. Like I know what that feels like. And I'm just like, but I have no reason to feel like this. So
Mhm.
I don't understand what's happening. And so I think that was my first indication that something was a little off.
Mhm.
And then I had like some physical symptoms that started to happen that weren't necessarily the norm for me.
Okay.
And so I'm like, okay, so I couldn't differentiate if it was the situation that I was in or if
Mhm.
it was just the changes in my body.
Okay, gotcha.
And it's like no one, at, but there's no way for anybody to communicate what's happening to you. You just know something's not right.
Right.
And so a lot of times you'll go to the doctor and they're telling you something else. Oh, well, let's do this. And you go all the way around the world just to find out it's perimenopause and menopause.
So we have to be mindful that they are practicing medicine,
Mhm.
and guess who
Mhm.
they're practicing it on? You.
Right.
So they based on what they studied, based on their trials and, you know, tests and that sort of things, they
Mhm.
can tell you what it might be.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm giving them their props. I'm not knocking them, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's off. So we have to definitely be s- taking care of ourselves, but even maybe charting what's going on with us, like keeping maybe written records or something that you notes in your phone or something like that, just to
Mhm.
kind of document so you can research and come to some type of conclusion about some things. And mind you, we are not doctors, but
Right.
we can definitely do our own research and see what some others have tried and see if those
Mhm.
things work for us. So it's a trial and error in many regards.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm good at. Like looking at my symptoms and going to look up like, okay, what's happening here? Now what's this? I've come to know and understand Reddit very well this year, with all the people posting about the different symptoms that they had, and that's basically how I came to the conclusion that that's what was happening to me. I actually, um, Kevin Stage's wife, Melissa,
Mhm.
she was posting on Instagram about her experience with perimenopause. And I somehow stumbled across a thread with a bunch of other ladies who were talking about it. And I'm like, I have that, I have that, I've had that, I've had that. And I'm just like, oh, this has been happening for a while. And I didn't even know.
Right. And
Yeah.
these are my people, right? This is my community.
Yeah.
They speak in my language because this is happening to them as well.
Yeah.
And maybe they can share some things that they have done that have assisted them along the way
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
might assist me.
Right. And I think, generally speaking, as a woman, it's important to have like your group of people. And for a while, like I've pretty much been alone out here, just trying to figure it out by myself. And so
Mm,
I am looking to find my group of people. And so I'm going to try to put myself out there more.
good.
But it is very scary. I will
It
say that.
can be, it can be. I think that oftentimes it's kinda high school-y to me. Oftentimes,
Mhm,
we look at, putting ourselves out there in terms of, well, who's gonna be there? And,
mhm,
what are they gonna be doing? And mind you, I'm not saying that you should not be concerned about what they're gonna be doing, but I
mhm,
tend to mm, I tend to try new things, and I typically have a good time wherever I go. And
mhm,
so that is my mindset when I go to things. Like I go with the mindset of I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to meet some new people. I'm going to learn something new. And
mhm.
typically that's what happens when I go. And so
Okay.
I think we have to maybe just get out of the comfort of I have to go with the people that I'm used to being around or what have you, and, try something new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm learning. That one, I need to enjoy my own company,
Mm.
and two, I can do it by myself.
You put the bingo. Ding, 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 ding. Like, that whole enjoy your own company, that is a big deal, and so, yes. That's the
Yeah.
first part of it is your ability to enjoy you and
Mhm.
be comfortable in the skin that you're in and recognize that you have value and you add value in whatever space it is that you are in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're coming back to that question in regards to grief. So I did watch your video with Dr. Faith when she talked about grief.
Oh, yes.
Um,
Also
and
transition.
yeah, I really love what she said when she talked about, like grieving the version of yourself that you thought you'd be, and like grieving people that you lose, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they aren't here anymore. They're just not in your life anymore.
Yeah.
So I could definitely relate to that now. Um, but I do feel that I have learned how to process my emotions. Shout out to Dr. Jackson Lohman because I was talking to her,
Okay,
and
nice.
she gave me some tips on like how to process them and not just let them sit there and just be stuck in it.
Mhm.
And so I just thought that was really valuable for her to say. So what do you think are some healthy ways that we can process our emotions?
Some of it is sitting in them, and
Mhm,
what I mean by that is not just rushing along. Now, mind you, I think that our lives are very busy, and yes, for us to have something happen to us and us to have like a whole meltdown in the midst of may not be helpful, but sometimes it might be, right? So you have to kind of gauge and navigate that. I,
yeah,
I and this is a transparent moment for me, but I have probably been the number one offender of not fully grieving like I should. And so what
mhm,
happens to me typically, or what has happened to me typically, is that
mhm,
I have just suppressed, 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 and
mhm.
then 6 months worth of suppression happens, and one little thing happens, and now I'm like crying for 2 days.
Right.
And so that is not a healthy way to manage your emotions and grief.
Mhm,
Now it may seem a little silly to take time to grieve, and it might not even happen for you naturally like that,
mhm.
but
Yeah.
I think sitting with yourself, giving yourself some space, some quiet time to really kind of process the things that have happened, what's been said, what's been done, what hasn't been said, what hasn't been done. Um, Even your expectations of people, of yourself, is I think a healthy way to manage that.
Yeah, I think, for somebody like me, I'm 37, never married, no kids.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think I've taken time to grieve who I thought I'd be by now.
Yeah.
I think I've just been, it's still gonna happen, it's still gonna happen, it's still gonna happen. But it's not here yet. And it's not here when you thought it was gonna be here.
Yeah.
So you have to deal with your expectations about yourself.
Hmm.
So I do think I definitely need to do that work.
You do. You do. So you're not alone. There are many individuals out there that have that same thing going on, right? That they
Mhm.
thought they would be at this place by now, at this big age, whatever that is. And
Yeah,
so, and it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to grieve that, and it's okay to still desire it as well.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think it's a healthy balance of both is good, to
Hmm.
help us uh, navigate and maintain in on our journey.
Yeah, yeah. I think that this change that's happening is forcing me to look at a lot of things that I did not want to look at or accept or
Mm,
anything like that because you know you're changing, like your whole body is changing, but also who you are is changing, who you are in society is changing, how
mhm.
you feel about yourself is changing. So I think that I'm coming into this new phase, but I also have to let go of my old self. And so I've created this mantra: my old self is ashes, my old self is ashes. And I've
Okay.
been saying that to myself because although my old self has helped me get this far,
Mhm.
I can't take her with me where I'm going.
Yeah,
So we need to let her go.
indeed. So I would say also look into what ashes do or represent,
Okay.
since that's what you are proclaiming, right?
Right.
Is there some growth out of the ashes? I'm a gardener. Um, and
Oh.
so dirt, soil, you want to have good soil for those
Uh-huh.
seeds that you can water and let the sunlight shine through so that there's new growth, right? And
Right.
so maybe there's some lessons to learn from the ashes that
Mm-hmm.
you can carry with you, and not that you do things the same way you did or have the mindset that you had back then, but
Mm-hmm.
they can be teachers. There can be
Yeah.
lessons that I learn from it.
Yeah.
Mm,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I like that. Okay. I think about maybe I'm thinking about it in terms of fire is although it is also a destructor, it can be a purifier. And so
Exactly,
the actions would be the result of the purification.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
too would love to have a garden someday.
You can
um
do it.
yeah. I've grown tomatoes, bell peppers, sweet
Nice,
potatoes, turmeric,
nice.
garlic, all
Look,
kinds
you
of
are
stuff.
a gardener. What are you talking about? You got it.
Yeah, but it's not. I don't have a piece of land. I would have to
It's
do it in like
okay.
pots and stuff. So
That's
I thought
listen.
about doing that where I am now. I just need to figure out like what's gonna be my setup.
Mhm. You do.
Yeah.
But you can do it, and even if you don't do it where you are, there are community gardens in the community that you can get a plot and make it happen. So,
Oh, you can get a plot. Oh, I didn't know that. I need to
yes.
look into that. Okay.
Oh, yes,
All
ma'am.
right.
Yeah.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah. See, I'm
Okay.
connected. See, I'm connected.
Yes, the connector. Come on, connector. Okay, so let's talk about the impact of menopause, perimenopause on relationships. How do
Mm.
you think hormonal shifts affect communication with your partners, family, or friends? And what's the best way to manage those dynamics?
So it can have a huge impact on relationships
Mhm.
because of the hormonal imbalances, because of the emotions that kick in. I
Mhm.
mentioned that I am very self-reflective, and I really do try to not let my kinda default go-to, which is normally, he or she tried me, get in the way. And so
Relatable.
I make a l there are a lot of renditions of processing that goes through for me to get to the point of, you know, I understand, or, no problem, it's okay, or what have you. Um,
Mhm.
because I think most people aren't really trying to destroy my day. Like, they don't wake
Yeah.
up saying, "Hey, I'm gonna make Nicole's day, horrible."
Right.
So, with that in mind, uh, we have teachable moments sometimes with people, and show them what we believe is the best way for them to treat us and communicate with us. I think sometimes we can not fully express our expectations, and
Mhm.
sometimes the expectations, those unsaid expectations, can get out in our way, because in our mind, we are thinking things should be a certain way, but that doesn't always translate with someone else. And so having
Yeah.
verbal or written agreements as it relates to how you plan to or want to engage with friends and family members, I think is good. And
Mhm.
if you don't believe that those agreements are intact, then coming back and saying, "Hey, this is what, from my understanding, I believe we agreed to. I don't believe that's happening. What's your take on it? What's your thoughts about it?" And then maybe even saying, "What I heard you say was," and express what you thought
Okay.
they were saying in that moment, and make sure there's some harmony and agreement. Now, sometimes there can't be, and so
Yeah.
sometimes you have to, maybe love and care for somebody from a distance, right?
Right. Right.
So, yeah, those are some things that can be done, I think, to help you with regulating your emotions, but I think also using our coping skills, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's finding peace. I had a show recently called Back to Peace, and
Okay.
one of the things that we talked about was what peace looks like for us. And so
Mm.
for many people, it was stillness, journaling, connecting with nature. So those things can also help us, when we feel ourselves getting to a place where our emotional thermometer may be on the rise, and we might feel like we can't control it.
Yeah.
Those things that can kind of help us get back to ourselves and get grounded, and not lose.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm going back to the video with Dr. Faith on grief
Hmm.
and how she talked about how she fasts every 3 months. So that would be like every season she does a fast, and then she also asks herself, "What is it that I need to let go that no longer serves me?"
Hmm.
And I said, "Come on, Dr. Faith, with the word today." I
Yeah.
love that. And so I think about that in terms of, not only cleaning out your body, but you're also cleaning out your mind and
Mhm.
letting go the things that no longer serve you. And so I think I'm going to start practicing that,
Yeah.
even the fasting thing, because I don't think I've ever had like a regular fasting,
Hmm.
uh, you know, routine. So I probably should do that also. But that video spoke to my soul. It was very helpful. And I thank you so much for
Oh,
that.
my pleasure, my pleasure. I will also add that there are different types of fast. So
Mhm.
outside of just fasting from food, you can
Mhm.
do maybe a word fast. I've done that before, where I have not consumed any television, radio, and at the time, social media wasn't as big a thing when I did it, but it would
Mhm.
be social media, and just at that time, it was for me reading the Bible. And so,
Mhm.
um, after coming off that fast, I was highly sensitive to some of the, um, kinda negativity that
Mhm.
I was encountering after I got off the fast, and I thought,
Yeah.
one of the kinda overwhelming thoughts that I had after that was a closer walk with God and feeling like, "Man, this is how God feels," when we are unloving to one another, when we don't
Mm.
show, kindness and, care and compassion towards one another. Just I was so
Mm.
grieved. I was very grieved by just
Mhm.
the negativity, and so we can do different but my point is we can do different types of fast to
Yeah.
help heighten our awareness of things around us as well as things within us. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I encourage you on that journey.
I was gonna say, I think I've been doing a fast from the news because I couldn't tell you what's happening with DT and his cronies.
I gotcha.
But I think it's not really something that I scheduled. I didn't say I'm gonna do this. I
Yeah,
just didn't have any desire to be caught up in the madness because I knew it was gonna be madness.
yeah.
So what's the point? Because I'm very um I don't know if the word is sensitive or if I just feel things for other people very deeply.
It's called being
And
an
so yeah, people keep telling me that and I'm like, okay.
It's okay, but
But I guess so.
that's a gift, to be quite
Yeah,
honest with you. Yeah, it's a
cause
gift.
like literally putting yourself in somebody else's shoes and like I remember when there was a guy that ended up getting sent off from the ICE raids and he didn't
Mhm,
do anything and he ended up in prison. I'm just like I could not imagine.
yeah,
Because it's one thing to know that you did something that earned you where you are,
right.
but if you didn't do anything, like I would be so upset.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Very
So
unfortunate.
I said all that to say I'm not watching the news because I don't have time for the shenanigans.
And it will impact you in a way that, may be counterproductive for you. My
Yes.
suggestion to you would be is to find out what you're supposed to do with those feelings. Find out what you're supposed to do with that emotional exchange that you encounter
Mhm.
with other people.
Mhm.
Are you supposed to pray for them? Are you supposed to share something with them? What are
Mhm.
you supposed to do? And it's gonna vary, I think, from individual to individual. But that
Mhm.
would be the question that I would be asking myself to, kind of tapping
Okay.
into like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
I know exactly what to do with that. Thank you. That's helpful.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay. So, what role does community and support play in a woman's mental well being during this particular time? And how can a person find the right kind of support?
So community plays a big role in
Mhm.
the lives of women who are going through not only this, but any and everything, to be quite
No, yeah,
yeah,
right.
any and
Yeah.
everything. Family support of friends is huge, but sometimes that can't be found because
Hmm.
it's so common with our family and friends and oftentimes overlook. They maybe don't see the greatness in us because it's just like, "Oh, that's just Nicole. Oh, that's just Tiffany."
That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
And so sometimes we have to find community outside of our families of origin and those circles. So
Mhm.
I would say seek like-minded folks. Like you mentioned, you happened upon this thread of folks that were women who were perimenopausal, menopausal, and they were talking about all of these kind of symptoms that you have experienced. And so
Mhm.
so many ways to connect with people now, on
Mhm.
social. There are websites and blogs and chats and things of that nature, and so we're not alone. Um,
Yeah.
and when I say chat, I'm talking human chats, not chat GPT, not AI.
Yeah, no.
We talking about the human beings, okay?
Right.
I would say, connecting with finding community in those places and spaces. I think locally, in terms of if you want to actually physically be in the presence of people, there
Mhm,
are communities out there. I'm gonna give a shout out right now to Cocktails and Conversations, which I am half of the conversations part of Cocktails and Conversations, but that's myself and
okay.
Vincent, also known as Sonya B. But we have put together events for women to come together and chat about these things. And so we did our Poom Poom party in April, another one in July, and the one in April, which was around oh, I can't remember the theme of it, but it had from menstruation to menopause, but it had a heavy focus on the menopause, and that was just by design of the attendees because they had lots of questions around it, and we had a OBGYN present
Mhm,
as well as a herbalist, and Sonya is a sexologist, so they got all their questions answered, or a lot of them answered in that space, and
mhm,
we are trying to not trying to, we have created this safe space for women to come together and talk about what's going on with them, what's on their hearts, what's on their minds, with professionals and others who are going through something similar. So I would say
mhm.
be on the lookout for those types of events, activities that foster that type of communal engagement.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so when do y'all have anything
Ooh,
in the
October
works?
October 12th.
October 12th. Okay, so uh, can you give us a little bit more information about that?
So, yes, that is during, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so it will be focused more on breast health and, body image. So we are still finalizing some of the speakers and presenters, but we're looking to do a bra fitting through one of the local department stores. We are looking to have a reading from a book that talks about body image and having a panel that will be partial professional and partial women who've had like breast issues. And so it will be at Southwood in Twin Oaks Apartments at the clubhouse at 3
Okay.
p.m.
Okay.
It's a ticketed event, so tickets will go on sale soon, and we'll have refreshments and some vendors, so it'll be a good time. It will be a good
Okay. Well, I believe I'll be there.
time. Okay.
I don't have no other issue.
Yes, go ahead and mark
I
your calendar
will be.
now for October 12th at 3 p.m.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Well, that is wonderful. I love that you all are doing that. Especially with me going through all the things that I'm going through. But if it's me, it's probably hundreds of other women like me that are also going through the same thing. So
You are not
we
alone.
thank you so much for your work. We also thank you for your work in the mental health space, specifically as it relates to Black and Brown people. So,
Thank you. No, my
yeah,
pleasure. I enjoy this work. I enjoy the conversations, meeting the people, talking to them, and again, just wanting us to be our best selves because I think
mhm,
that if we have good mental health, then that's going to help us with operating in those gifts and talents that I talked about at the beginning
yeah,
that we all need to be sharing with the world. But we got to get our checkup from the neck up and get these minds right, these emotions together so that we can do what we have been called to do. So, yeah.
yeah, okay. And meditate, don't medicate.
Yes, I like
Mm,
that.
yeah. So shout
Mhm.
out to J. Cole. But yeah, that's something that I've been practicing here a lot, a lot. Like
Okay.
I've always known about meditation, but I think something clicked in me on this new stage is you need to do this every single day. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's literally the only thing that's keeping me sane right now.
Mhm.
Is that
Mhm.
I'm meditating every day. So
Yeah, that's
I'm
good.
gonna keep doing what I need to do. And I'll also be taking your tips because they were very helpful. in regards to discovering what I'm doing with my empathic abilities, because I've never thought about it in that way. I didn't realize that it was a something that I could like work on.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
so I'm gonna do that. But that's all the questions that I have for today.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. This was a great conversation, my type of
Mhm.
conversation, very engaging. Love the questions.
Yeah.
And I encourage you in this space. There's
Mhm.
room for all of us that choose to do this type of work, this type of
Mhm.
engagement. I think
Mhm.
that human beings are compelled by stories, and we need to be sharing our stories even more. And so,
Mhm.
congratulations to you, and God bless you. And thank you again for having me on as your guest.
Before I get out of here, I did want to make an announcement. Save the date, save the date. Cocktails and Conversations presents a Poom Poom Party. Now, this edition of the Poom Poom Party will be about loving your body. This event will take place Sunday, October 12th from 3 to 6. If you're in the Tallahassee area, go ahead and get your tickets at cocktailsandconversations.com. Tickets will be on sale September 15th. Hope to see you there.